What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. I got a simple question and then I got a couple theories, but I want to run this by you guys really quickly. And I'm just asking questions. Please don't look at me funny, but I have to ask the question. I don't think anything is above reproach. Is therapy a scam? Let me say that one more time. Is therapy a scam? And the reason I ask this question, right, is, for the longest, over the last, I would say, at least 5 years, Charlemagne the God practically did a whole book on it. Everybody is advocating for it. Everybody believes that their problems are solved. I've had conversations on panels where people say they're in therapy basically for their entire life. I'm wondering if therapy is not only a scam, but one of the biggest finesses of all time. And I'm just asking a question. I'd love to get your feedback. I want to know what you think in the comments. But let me pose a theory really quickly, or two, right? And I'm out and about, and I'm taking care of business, and I'm about to go and pick up the homie Charleston White and see what he's talking about, and we're gonna shoot some content and all of that. But let me pose a theory really quickly, right? Because we've seen the young lady on TikTok that basically got fired from her job because everybody exposed her when she went viral, telling chicks to hoe it out and going off on dudes, and she was calling them all types of names, and she went off and mentioned Kevin Samuels and basically called a lot of guys incels, right? And so when you think about that and you start to put it in perspective, this woman is a licensed professional. Licensed professional. Now, let me pull in another scenario in order to try to substantiate my point really quickly. Regularly, we see people going off on and highlighting how we need to get rid of and defund the police. Basically, live lawless. They will tell you that because this police officer over here has gotten arrested or he did something egregious, that all police is bad and F the police. I mean, there's been whole songs and Ice-T and NWA historically. I mean, the general public, and it's not just black people. If you look at all of those protests that was happening, it wasn't majority black people out there. It was a lot of other people. There's been an entire narrative that's been spun about police officers based off of the behavior of some other bad apples. And so when we start to see exactly what's going on in these other people's lives, because I also did a live stream just yesterday about how a marriage therapist and a mental health therapist is in a foursome, and clearly you can see that she was overly masculine and she was moving a certain type of way and all of that. But she didn't have it all up here. She didn't have it all up here. If you want to check that out, go to the Millionaire Morning Show. Look at it and see what the live stream was from yesterday, Friday the 26th, I think, of August 2022. Look at the live stream and tell me what you think about that therapist. And I've run into several different therapists that didn't have all of their marbles together. And so now I'm starting to ask the question, like, licensed and certified by who? Because their ability to be able to pass a test? That's what makes you licensed and certified to be able to give people mental health therapy. It reminds me of life coaches. Like, I've seen 23-year-old life coaches. What makes you think that you're in a position to be able to give me advice based off of your ability to take a course? You know how big life is? You know what it takes to be an overcomer? Do you know how to build a business? Know what it takes to have kids? Being married for 20 plus years. Whatever that looks like, what makes people think that certain people are certified and good enough to be able to tell somebody else what they should or shouldn't do based off of their ability to be able to get board certified? And I'm not saying that all therapists are bad in the same way that I'm not saying that all cops are bad, which is one of the reasons why I use that argument in the first place. But what I am saying is, just because you Google them and you jump in their DMs or whatever it is that you send them a message and say, yo, I need therapy, and they charge you a bunch of money, what makes you think that they are the best for you? How do you know that they're not actually making you worse? If they can't even get themselves together, and see, we've only seen a small sample size. And let me tell you my prediction. My prediction is that as technology continues to evolve and, you know, allow for us to have more insight into who these people are in which we're hiring, my prediction is that we're going to start seeing more craziness and more exposure to people, and that maybe we should not be leaning on them. Because the lady that was in the video that got fired from her job, on the last video that I seen, she was crying and breaking down, talking about how, oh man, and all of my clients are not going to have people to go to in order to be able to fix their problems, and I've been working with these people for years. And I was thinking to myself, but if you've been working with these people for years, there's no hope for all of these other people that think that they need therapy. No? Why shouldn't we more effectively vet? And then again, people will say, well, you have to check and find out, you know, which ones work for you. My dog Logic broke it down beautifully on the Lapeef Let's Talk show. He said, listen, it's just like talking to your homeboys. You're hiring them to do what you want them to do. And then you have to share enough in order to actually get whatever it is that you think you're going to get out of them, potentially, right? Which means that, let's follow me here, which means that you're living in an echo chamber. And then they're incentivized to keep you on that nipple, which is one of the reasons why some people say they've been in therapy for their entire life. How do these people know how to fix your problems based off of what? What's in a textbook? Come on, fam. Come on, fam. What does that sound like to you? I don't sound like a finesse. And again, I'm not saying that therapy couldn't be good, but how do we know who we're going to and who actually should be the person that we have therapy from? And why don't we ask these questions? Why do we just take talking points from some of the people that's just the most popular, like Charlemagne the God, and look at it as gospel, when in reality, who's to say that he's actually a better version of himself, right? Like, the automatic fix for most people, yeah, I'm getting therapy. That's it? That's all you got? You getting therapy? And you're going to be fixed, right? By the person that's actually broken, that's giving you therapy. Because they're able to charge you some money. Because they got a job. That's the solution. So the solution is just to get therapy. And then how do you judge whether or not the person is the person for you when you're the one that actually need the help and you're not even in your right mind? How can you say, how do you... This is so funny. It's like modern women, right? Most women need a man or a father in order to vet for them effectively. If you allow people to choose for themselves, they often choose wrong. So you're going to choose the person that make you feel good instead of the person that actually give you what you need in order to be successful. How do you know what you don't know? How do you know who to go to? Who's to say that that actually makes sense? Based off of your own judgment and you the person that need therapy? And then these people got to live their lives too. They crazy as piss. You don't know what these people got going on behind closed doors. Should there be more criteria in order to vet effectively to determine whether or not somebody... Like, it's almost like, okay, would you go to... would you get financial advice from somebody that's not successful? How do we know that these people is actually what they need to be? I'm just curious. It's just weird to me. And it's like the more questions that you ask, the more that you can start to debunk the theory that makes sense. Depending on the therapist, obviously. And so I'm not saying that therapy is not good for some people. Some of y'all just need a slap upside the head and say, get your life together. But what I am saying is, there's more questions, in my opinion, than answers as to whether or not this is the path that you should take in order to fix your problems. Some of y'all just need a good father in your life. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Link to the Patreon is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. I have my own theories, obviously. I'm curious as to what you think. I want to know what you think. Make sure you leave a comment, like and subscribe, and hit a notification bell so that you get notifications whenever I go live or I drop a new video. But I am absolutely positively stumped as to why y'all just blindly go into things, not even knowing what you don't know, and who's to determine what makes you successful, what makes you fixed, what makes you a whole person, and that they're not actually enabling bad behavior, and then you giving it validation because you think you're talking to a licensed professional. Silly to me. Again, link to the Patreon is in the description. We're doing some awesome things. I got a new exclusive video that's going to be dropping probably within the next couple days with my dog Charleston White. You're going to absolutely love that one. And then in addition to that, I also want to implore you guys, if you need a kick it with me personally, email me at antondaniels413@gmail.com. Zoom call, phone calls, all of that. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you later. Peace.